This. Okay, let's do it. Hi, beautiful soul. It's been a while. Before I came here, I checked my last recording on YouTube, and it's been middle of January, not this year, last year. So almost 1.5 years since my last recording. So I completely vanished. Okay, I was on Instagram a bit, but why I was gone, you may wonder. Back then, my job, my 9 to 5 job, started to pick up a bit. It became a bit more busy, and then in middle of April, May, I've got a bit more work on my plate, and it felt like adding to it hypnotherapy as well was a bit too much, because my 9 to 5 job required a lot of work. And yeah, there were moments where it was easier, but there were moments which were quite busy as well. And then you also want to have some of your own life, right? I want to be able to go out a bit and focus on my self-development, my health as well. And I was finding myself burning out. That's why at that time, just give me one moment because my nose is running. At that time, I felt like letting go of hypnotherapy was the right choice. But then a couple of months later, I was thinking about, what can I do to earn money different way? And I started doing Airbnb. The intention was to start doing Airbnb. Property management, hosting it for someone. And guess what? Few months passed by and I realized that I am going through the same pattern. What was the pattern? The pattern was that I actually didn't have time and energy to do anything with it, And I was going into that overwhelm. I was burning out because it was simply too much. And I was wondering at that time, how do other people do it, There are other people who are juggling their regular job. They have families as well, and they are building the business as well, I am on my own. I am single here, sitting here and thinking why I am not able to do it. But then my Airbnb coach sat down with me and he helped me to realize that, I am burning out. And as long as I'm going to hold to this job, which, I am holding to this job because I need salary. But when I realized that I'm holding to that job because it was something certain, but then when I looked into what holding to that job was blocking for me, and it was blocking my growth, and it was blocking the contribution here to you, something what I felt the calling for, my purpose. the reasons why I did hypnotherapy in the first place. And now I'm realizing there with that coach that, oh my God, I need to take the risk, because my job was becoming so hectic that I couldn't handle it anymore. And I realized from what I'm learning now about everything, and we will be talking about this in later recordings, but when you as a woman, when you realize what feminine energy is about, a regular 9 to 5 job where you have million things to do, where you are just sitting at your desk and doing, it means that you are in a masculine energy, overburning yourself. You are all the time in your head. And yes, some people say, hey, you can take a break, but then it feels like you are in this masculine motion where it's quite challenging to step away and to connect with yourself. And that's what I was feeling. I was like, oh my God, I would like to step away, and I was forgetting about those things. And then there was another aspect where I've learned as well about human design. And when I did the test, it turned out that I am a projector. And what does that mean? It actually says that a regular 9 to 5 job is not for a projector, because projectors are burning out that way, because we are in the flow, similar to feminine energy. We are flowing, we are feeling into what's your mind, your body, your heart says. It's like tapping into your body's intuition, into your own intuition, and hearing what it says. And more I started tapping into that after I left my job already, because I left my job eventually. After I started tapping into that feeling and watching, hey, how do I really operate? What's good for me, How is it supposed to work? I noticed that I operate in a different way, different day. It's like literally like I am going with the flow. Like some people don't like apparently the saying, going with the flow. But this is how I am feeling. I am feeling like, one day I just get up and I wander around and I do my self-development, like meditation, all the stuff, and then I would exercise, and then I would get ready, and then I would do a little bit of work, then go out, then do a little bit of work. The other day I would be sitting on the couch and doing from early morning till late evening without even exercising somewhere in the middle, because I'm in that motion of doing. And there are days where especially when I have my period, are the days where I can't do anything at all. I sometimes catch myself that I want to do things and it feels like nothing is moving forward. And there are days where I would spend half of the day somewhere away and then do the work from 4 p.m. until 10 p.m. So you can see all of it is kind of like listening to your body, to that intuition inside of you. It's that feminine flow. And in my case, also projector. And yes, at the beginning of January, I gave my notice, which was very, very scary, because of course I was cutting myself out of my only income that I had, and it felt like, oh my God, what I am doing to my life, and I dive deep. But then throughout the 3 months of notice period, I felt like my work was becoming even more hectic, and I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to leave. And then after I left, because now I don't have a job anymore, first couple of weeks, I felt like I was stuck in that fight and flight response. Like I was supposed to now build my new life, and I felt zero motivation. I felt like I was sitting in front of my laptop and feeling like, oh, it literally felt like this. And I realized, oh my God, I am being stuck in that 9 to 5 job. My nervous system is stuck on that 9 to 5 job still. Where I realized this is how I felt all this time. And suddenly things started making sense, with me connecting this feminine energy, the projector archetype, and noticing how I really go with the flow. I was like, that's why I was burning out initially. I was burning out with hypnotherapy on top of my regular job, and now it was a situation with my regular job because they were just adding, and it feels like this is part of that system, right? When we know about the system that they want to just control us, and they do. Just by, I'm going to give you a little bit of more salary, but here it is. I'm going to show you. So here I am. I'm back, and I've decided that those recordings now going to look a bit different because in the past, with that first wave of recordings that I did, I felt like those recordings were not me. No. Those recordings were me trying to pretend that I am someone else, someone who I'm not. I was trying to be smarter or more clever, say those smart things. Where in fact, in order to help you, I don't need to be that smart person. I just need to be a walking proof, which I am, that healing is possible. And yes, this is a message to you sitting maybe on the other side of that screen and thinking, how am I get out from that darkness that I found myself in? Guess what? I was there. I was there. And it actually starts with you saying, I had enough. I'm no longer living my life that way. This is how it started with me. And yeah, there are other people who their healing journeys are completely different. There are people who are they are feeling like they've been always conscious and they just keep evolving, they just healing whatever comes up. But there are people who are in complete darkness. Like this is what happened to me back in 2020. I had this spiritual awakening where I really felt like someone just picked me up from somewhere else and said, hey, now you are seeing the truth. Now you can start living your life. But it just doesn't mean that suddenly you're gonna be all this, oh, I woke up, I can fly. No. I wish. Now the self-development journey starts, right? It starts where you have to go through and process, find out like why things happened the way they did, get this understanding behind it, and then start releasing it. And yes, some people will say, hey, you know, healing can be easy. Yes, it can be easy, I agree. But if you went through so much shit in your past, and if you are that person who just cannot see through that shit, then the healing is a bit different. But it is possible. It is possible because I was there. I was there. I was in that part where I was asleep. Like, I don't know, 95% of population is asleep. I don't know what the percentage is. That they don't use their own brain. It feels like it. I know I wasn't using my own brain. And then suddenly I woke up, and it felt like it was awakening from a dream. But this awakening meant that I needed to now search for the truth. The truth of who am I? Because at that moment I knew I was just this programming from the past. Programming given to me by my parents, by society, by people who were close to me. This wasn't me. I wasn't using my own brain. I wasn't. I know now. But that's why I'm here. That's why I want to be here. And I want to be this raw, real person here in front of that camera, so you guys can see what's possible. Because today I am here saying to you from my heart, you are seeing what you are seeing. It's not fake, it's not made up, I'm not trying to be anyone else. Even though, you know, it's scary. It's so scary because when you grow up in home where, like in my case, my dad was alcoholic, very aggressive one, and then I uncovered that I felt responsible for my mom's emotions as well. It's like you are not. It feels like you are not allowed to be who you are. You know, you learn to shut your mouth. You learn to be that good girl. You know, you learn to do anything, you know, walking on the eggshells, so no one gets upset, because if someone gets upset, then it's gonna be scary. Someone can scream or beat your mom up or beat you. You never know. You know, and then you're gonna hold all those emotions of your mom as well, because she is such a poor lady. My mom. I'm responsible for this. I need to help her. But now, because I never was able to speak the truth, now I'm in front of the camera. Someone out there can give me some hate, judge me for what I'm doing here. And yes, I will have to face it if that happens. But what if you, person in the dark, get this message and you realize, hey, she knows what she's doing. She did it, so I can do it. Sorry, my nose is funny. I don't know why. Suddenly now in front of the camera. So here I am, hypnotherapy is back. I've been now unemployed for, what's the date now? Yeah, 22nd. So it's a month and 10 days. So last month, I think I still got half of my salary-ish, and this month I'm not getting any salary anymore. So, you know, it's scary, but creating what I'm doing here, you know, I'm creating this space, this healing space, and also starting Airbnb, which is kind of funny because as soon as I gave my notice in January, in February, I signed my contract, first contract for Airbnb management, for like a property management. And in March, I signed my second contract. Oh, it delayed to April, yeah. But anyway, it was like discussions were all was set in March. So look how it happened. Like for a couple of months, I wasn't able to do anything. And then suddenly I decided to dive deep, and suddenly the doors start opening. I open the space. And the same is with healing. When you say, hey, I'm fucking done here, that's when the space opens. Now you're going to get, you know, you open the space to receive messages. People gonna show up in your life who are there to help you. And you know, it might be just something simple like, hey, just be happy, it's easy. Hey, look inside of you, you need to first start loving yourself. These were the messages that I received at the beginning from two people. And I was like, what are they talking about? And then I realized that, you know, I had zero respect for myself, not talking about love to myself. And internally, I wasn't really happy. I was wearing a mask. So I'm going to talk a bit later about this because I feel like I diverted a little bit here out of topic. Let me just see what else I was supposed to talk about. I spoke about burnout. I spoke about why I am back, about awakening. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. So this is for today. I hope I will be back. You know, I've done those things so many times where I came and I said, hey, you know, you're gonna see me more here, and then Gabi disappeared. I don't know. I think this is self-sabotage, or I also think that this is connected to mother wound. From what I am learning now, that the closer we get to a result that we want to achieve, we keep self-sabotaging. So maybe it's that, but I'm working actually right now on removing these mother wounds, and yeah, that's for another time. So I don't want to keep fingers crossed. I will be here. That's it. So if you want to hear more about my journey. There will be more. This is just the beginning. I want to talk about more about my self-development journey, what I was discovering throughout almost 5 years now. I'm also almost coming to anniversary, 5 years of anniversary of my awakening, of me living my life, and now actually feeling like, hey, this is me. And I will be sharing this here. I don't want to just, go and Google or go to ChatGPT and talk about some, whatever. This is not me. This is my journey, and I feel like I have responsibility to talk about it, because the world is awakening. The consciousness in us. And I've been meeting those people until today. I am meeting those amazing people who are guiding me. Some of them very spiritual, like the spirituality awakened in me as well on that journey, because I used to didn't even believe in God, because I was like, how can I believe in God? Why he put me in that place so I could be in that shit for almost 40 years? Why? And then, in that journey, when I started realizing, okay, I know what, why, and then all of it came back. And I have the guides, beautiful guides in my life. And I feel like those are the people who are ahead of me. But now I am ahead of someone as well. So I have this responsibility to be here to talk about it for you. So click that subscribe button and comment if you have any comments, if you'd like to hear. Maybe you have some questions about about me leaving my job, maybe about my awakening, my spiritual awakening, maybe about my Airbnb business. My apartment is, one apartment is up and running. Someone's apartment, it's not my apartment. Yeah, if you have any questions about that, then this will motivate me to come here and maybe talk about those topics, because at the moment I will be talking about whatever comes to my mind, I will be sharing it with you. Anyway, keep well, keep strong, and keep awakening.